happen to be a surgical technologist. You've done that for several years. Can you kind of school me or school us? Who is a surgical technologist, and how important is this job, in the hospital?
A surgical technologist is somebody who has a lot of energy, someone who has a love of people and a love of science and the human body and what the human body can do. Our job encompasses many things. Yes, we are at the surgical field, assisting the surgeon in the operation, but we are responsible for many things. We're responsible for maintaining a sterile field. The number one job of a surgical tech would be patient advocacy. I need to be the voice for that patient on the table because they're asleep and they're entrusting us to take care of them throughout the entire procedure from start to finish. So a surgical tech has a rather large responsibility when it comes to understanding instrumentation, putting that instrumentation to the appropriate anatomical part, understanding the use of those instruments, and being able to quickly identify and give those instruments to the physician in a critical point during that case. Being able to have a sense of self, a sense of center, to not be distracted by other things that are going on in the room, but to focus strictly on that patient, on the wound, and what we can do to finish the case in a timely manner and in a quick, efficient, sterile way.
Okay, thank you so very much. Miss Wendy, I kind of observed, I don't know if it's me, but most of the surgical technologists that I've come across, they wear the smiling faces. They're very jovial people. What's the reason for that? Is it a way of diffusing the stress, in the job or on the job? So how come, surgical technologists, a good number of you are happy people. You just move up with so much energy. What's that all about?
That's
please?
A very, very good question, and I get asked that a lot, especially at family events when people want to know, how can you look at that all day long? How can you look at blood and look at that all day long and then just carry on with your regular life? Well, it's a weird kind of change that goes on in you when you're setting up a sterile field. When you are scrubbed in and you have a gown and gloves and a mask on, you kind of take on a certain mindset. And that mindset is a set of focus and a set of, I have a destination and I have an end journey. And that end journey is to see this patient from start to finish, to make sure that we handle the problem quickly, efficiently, correctly, sterilely. Yes, we see a lot of things in the operating room that might shock most people. There is a fair amount of blood. There's a fair amount of physicalities on people, positions of their body after, say, a motor vehicle accident. That's not what we're used to seeing every day. But you have to look past that and look at what you're trying to fix. It's a state of mind. And I won't say that I got that way right away. I'm sure in the beginning it had a little bit of adverse effect on me. It was shocking to see people in that position. But over time, you realize that you're there to complete a certain project and a certain job. Your staff is always a big support with you. Everybody in that room with you supports one another. We're all there for the same common thing, and that's to see that patient walk out of this hospital, right? That's our main goal, to keep them well. And I think you have to be able to put on a stage face when you're there, right? We remove that stage face when we go home. And I won't say that I haven't gone home and had a good cry at some of the things that I've had to deal with during the day. But when you're there, you really have to be focused. This could be your mom. This could be your dad. This could, this is a loved one that's on the table. You have to approach every patient as if it is your loved one and be thinking about it in that regard. How would you want them handled? You would want to make sure things remain sterile, that they woke up quickly, that the surgery was done efficiently and correctly. These are all things that you have to get in your mind to achieve. And that's our common goal in the OR. That's our common goal. We all share it.
So for the years you've spent in the OR, Miss Wendy, what do you love most? Is there anything you love most about the job? While you were there, something you missed? You want to share that with us?
Absolutely. Probably the biggest thing that I miss from that job, of course I'm not doing it now as I'm teaching, I miss the interaction with the surgeons that I deal with from other countries. That's my biggest takeaway from this job, If there's anything that I love most, it's learning about different cultures, different languages, different belief systems, and how they got into the same field as me. And here we are today, someone from Nigeria. How do you end up in Stockton, California, operating with me? And the interaction and the learning that I gain and the cultural knowledge that I gain and the fact that we're all here for the same purpose brings us together. I miss that interaction more than anything because I've learned so much about people and about linguistics and about attitude and religion. It's really broadened my mind. Aside from the science of the human body alone, that's the excitement. The human body is an amazing instrument. It can heal itself right in front of you. It can rejuvenate. It stays alive when you cut it open. It's an amazing system that God has created here for us. And the science behind that, I find to be so exciting. But as you asked me, the biggest takeaway is working with the surgeons from different countries, because you can learn so much and gain such an appreciation for people on a different level. And I miss that.
Okay. So, Miss Wendy, can you say that this is a career path for anyone watching right now? Because you used to work in the OR and now you teach it. So that seems to be like a career path. You know, once you're done with this, you're tired or probably you retire, you could, continue and pass the knowledge to people. So is this a career path?
Absolutely. And I feel like if I don't share this knowledge, it just dies with me, right? Healthcare changes every 10, 20 years. We have the old coming out and the new coming in. Who's going to teach the new? The new are in charge of you and me. We have to train them and give them the knowledge and the experience that we had so that they can progress. It just dies with me if I don't share it. And I'm too young to sit home and crochet. I got a few good years left in me. And let me share that knowledge. Let me share my experience with other people and give them the excitement and show them what's in the OR. It's not just tools and instruments and blood. There's so many things that encompass it, and it opens up your mind in ways you never thought you could learn. That is what I want to get across to people. That.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Altamont Healthcare on YouTube today.